Can you hear the music? I'm just going to link this on Twitter, and then we can get going. Hello, everybody. So today in this video, I'm going to be talking about, first off, Village Farms Indica blend, and I'm going to be talking about what's going on. They're going to eventually nationalize businesses in the USA, and it's getting going on. So I got a lot to cover. Thanks for coming out. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about. Yeah, so this is Village Farms Indica line. So it looks pretty good trimmed. Village Farms VFF ticker. They're undercutting everybody else in the cannabis sector in Canada with their ounce. So 28 grams for $99.99. So that's about $3.57 a gram. And Aurora Cannabis has their daily special for $70 for 15 grams, which is $4.66 a gram. So I think this is better cannabis too. Lower THC, 14 to 17%. It's just a blend, just the same as how Aurora does it. But I think this is pretty good deal. So it's definitely a shot fired at some of the big producers, such as Canopy and Hexo and some others, because Hexo thought they would have it locked down with their OG stash at 125. So that's gonna really take away sales from Hexo to some of these other companies. So that's really gonna be rough on these companies. So it's interesting how things are getting played. I've tried their indicas. I think they make pretty good indicas, and yeah. So how's everybody doing? Hit the like, I'd appreciate it. It's a pain. Cannabis isn't legal in the UK or Germany. You can only get it illegally. James Rossman says, yeah, I think Germany is becoming easier to get cannabis just based on medical. I think if you go to a doctor for small ailments, I think you can get it now in Germany. I think it's a little harder in UK. I think the government just has a little tighter, but yeah, that's my opinion. But it's definitely interesting. Shots fired at Aurora and Canopy and all the other companies, Afria and all these other ones that we want to dominate the flower market. So I mean, they can grow it the cheapest. They can grow it for 50 cents a gram, whereas everybody else at minimum about $1, and some are like up to $4 or $5 a gram. So I mean, they're getting crushed on this. So yeah. So what's going on? Why do I make this video about nationalizing businesses? Because that's what's happening right now, right before our eyes. that's what's happening, because what's happening is they tell everybody to shut down their business, right? They shut down businesses, but then at the same time, you got Walmart, and they're hiring more and more people. So, I mean, that's effectively taking it away from, people, their ability to sell stuff. So that's affecting the businesses. What it's going to do is, just because they'll give more money to Walmart and other companies, Boeing and all these other companies, maybe American Airlines and Delta Airlines or some other ones, and they'll own more of the company, and the small businesses will suffer because of it. Telling them, "Oh, you can't go back to work," and it's I think it's effectively going to really destroy all the small companies based in the space, because they're just not going to get that those tax benefits. They just don't get the same type of treatment that the big companies. And I've known that for a while, that under Trump, basically small companies are zero. Big companies are big. He cares about making big companies bigger. But as I've never really seen him mention too much about small companies, so he doesn't care about small companies. He just wants big companies to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think what may happen as well is that, because nobody's going to be working, that effectively they're going to, because Trump wants to make USA super big and super strong. And the way he can do that is by, uh, having people that aren't working be it servitive to the government, right? So if they trust the government and they want to, help the government more, they think they owe it to the government, then the government's going to say, "Oh, we want you to be part of the military, and join the military. Uh, just get bigger and bigger and bigger, so that nobody messes with the USA, and that's going to give jobs to people in USA, and then people who are actually working in USA in businesses, like big businesses, they're going to make less and less. Maybe they had their business and they were making $60,000 a year, then they're only going to be able to get a job for like $18,000 to $25,000 a year. So it's effectively going to destroy the middle class. um, I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about that it's going to destroy the middle class. Now, as far as Canada goes, I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. It will play out, but not as hardcore as in USA. But it's effectively for people who are living the good life and they think they have it all. They're going to have a very tough next 3 to 5 years, I believe, just trying to sustain themselves. And there's a lot of people also, they talk about that we're getting out of a currency, we're getting out of cash, because they're trying to say it's all tainted, right? So then their businesses are going to say, well, no, we won't take your cash, maybe. And I mean, it could turn into a digital coin from the banks. Who knows? I'm not really going to go on to that extreme, and because I don't really understand what's going to happen as far as that, but it's something that could definitely happen, and it's going to be tough for the next 5 to 10 years for a lot of small companies, and it's sad. It's a it's a purge, really. What's going on right now in this world is there's so many zombie companies that are just like standing, like they're like so close to being just destroyed and being bankrupt, and then effectively that's going to happen, and they're all going to just be flushed down the toilet. So it's going to happen right before our eyes, and yeah, it's not going to be pretty. There's no lying about that. So it's really crazy times, and nationalizing business is just going to effectively make USA stronger. They're going to have everybody being in servitude to the government, and they're going to be super stronger, as well as having the biggest technology companies. They're going to have Apple's going to be bigger in charge of USA companies, and the government will be. They'll own more of Apple potentially, and they're just going to buy stock. But it'll be also interesting when they give $1,000 to everybody for checks. They want people just to put more money into the economy. So it's wild times. Yeah, it's people aren't going to be working. I mean, they're not going to let people work for, who knows, maybe 2 to 3 months or something like that, and it's just going to plunge the whole system. And I can see it going down a lot further. Oil prices potentially, and more deflation as people just trying to get more and more cash as they realize that they're not going to have much cash in the future. So it's wild out there. It's pretty much all I want to talk about. If you guys want to talk about anything, just let me know. I don't have an hour to talk about the fact that they're going to nationalize all these companies, but I mean, this is going to happen, and it could really turn into war. That it's all a nationalized system that's going on right now. They're telling people to come back from the country they're from, and then these emergencies measures act and all that stuff like that is saying that you pretty much have to be servitive to the government. The government can take away your property. They can do all this and that, and it's just going to force government to be stronger and the people to be weaker and less free thought. Hey JG, how's it going? Peace. I'll show you this. What's going on? So we were talking about how they're gonna nationalize all these companies in USA and probably around the world, but I'm mainly just focused on USA. And I also said Village Farms has this weed. I'll just show you on my cell phone. It's pretty good trim. I found that Village Farms makes pretty good. They trim their bud pretty good, and basically it's for $99.99 for 28 grams, which is an ounce. So an ounce at that price is that cannabis is about $3.60 a gram, whereas Aurora has the lowest price, and they're doing $70 for 15 grams, so that's about $4.60. And some other companies have like 1/8 or quarters for somewhere around $5. And Hexo has their OG stash for $4 or like 4.25 or somewhere. Yeah, 4.25 a gram. So Village Farms is taking a big shot at they're taking a big shot at all the big companies, Aurora and Canopy and Hexo and Afria and others, and they're like, we're gonna take over the low cost market. We're gonna destroy you guys because we can grow it for 50 cents a gram. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. So JG says, "Yo, buddy, how's everyone?" And James Rossman says, "What's up, JG? Hey, buddy, how you doing?" Yeah, no, it's good you guys are chatting. It's just a really interesting thing going on. I think it's eventually just going to it's going to make the government stronger and the people weaker. So when they need people to go to war, they're going to just like incentivize them to go to war, and then it'll make them even stronger. The government's stronger and stronger and stronger. And I mean, whether they have to go to war or not, but there's so many people in the States, and they have so much budget, and they have so much like warcrafts and missiles and all stuff like that, that nobody would really want to mess with USA. But eventually, I mean, it's just the fact that if people, they work for the government, because okay, they're going to be more, government's going to have more control over every company that's a huge company, and all those small companies will just get destroyed. They won't be around, because they won't be in this next situation. Like, this is like a new era of businesses that's going on, and the virus is like the perfect time to turn this new page into where they want to go into the whole new system. And the new system is evolving with the big businesses. They're going to be more powerful, and so everybody's going to be working for the government. And then if there's a lot of people that are going to be out of work, so I think when there's high unemployment, then they're going to have to make people like go to these FEMA camps and stuff and take care of them. But other people, they're going to incentivize to go to war, or to train to go to war, so that they have a bigger workforce for the military. So happening, because as long as Trump gets reelected, and this thing like stays going the way it is, that's the way it looks to be, because Trump wants to be super powerful. Like, he wants to be more powerful than China. And so I don't know. That's the way I see it. You tell me. I mean, if you guys think differently, I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But I'm just hearing it from Greg Manarino, and putting it into my own words. And I agree with the way he's thinking, because it all kind of makes sense to me. So JG says VFF will rule this universe. Yeah, no, I think they're definitely going to be big in the flower market. Okay, so for Canada, they did about 155 million in sales in January, and the flower market probably about 110 million, and then there's oils that may be another 10 to 20 or 15, and then there's the vapes and edibles that were another like 20 to 30 million. So that all adds up. But if Village Farms has 10% of the whole market, then but the thing is, when you say the 155 million, realistically, the licensed producers and all the brands are only getting 70% of all the sales. So the retailers are getting the sales. I mean, Canopy Growth, they're getting the sales at the store, but other companies that just sell flower, they're only getting about 70% of the retail sales. So if it's at the store at $10, they're getting like usually like $5 or $6, right? So it's it can be lower than the 70%, but some it can be higher. So 70% is even high. So it's like 105 million max of the sales for all the LPs. So that's why the medical market is important in Canada. I mean, if the medical market grows to about 400 to 600, 700 million in 2020, I think it's somewhere around 300 million right now per year in Canada. So if it grows to like 500, 600 million, then it's more money for all the companies. But yeah, I mean, they're all gonna struggle in Canada. It's just that some will have nice, good bull runs when things get more exciting. But I mean, really, the big catalyst is Ontario having 200, 300 stores, and then more global companies, just doing business in bigger countries, so that their revenues grow and they get better profits and all that stuff. So I don't know. If you guys want to talk about some other stuff, I'm willing to stay a little bit longer. I wasn't gonna be here that long, but I'm willing to stay a little bit longer if you guys have some stuff you want to talk about. I just wanted to explain. What does it say? BD drink worth the money? Well, I don't really know how much it cost, to be honest. I think it was 6, 12, 14. Yeah, I don't think it was worth its money. It was maybe $8.50 or $9. So realistically, I don't think the beverage was worth the money. Yeah, I'll stay a little bit longer. Give me a thumbs up, JG, and whoever else is in here, give me a thumbs up, and I'll stay a little bit longer. I don't have a problem staying a little bit longer. I don't really have that much to talk about. I mean, I'll have more uh I'll have more to talk about when the commodity markets are open up tomorrow night at 6:30 or something like that, because that's when a lot of the commodities move a lot, and then there's like more news, so have more stuff to talk about. I mean, I can talk about a lot of stuff. I just I'm not just gonna randomly like go there, but we can talk about lots of stuff. I mean, we can talk about commodities, and I mean, I can circle back to the fact that this could potentially make a lot of the miners be nationalized as well, and that's what happens in Germany and China. The miners, like, or the oil players, they become nationalized, and they're owned like over 50% by the government. So I can see that happening, and they're using this virus to kind of pull the wool over people, and they're just going to end up owning everything. So, and then they want people inside the house so they don't freak out. JG says, same here, got to get stuff done. Yeah, no, James Rossman, if you want to go, that's fine. I don't have a problem. You got to do what you got to do. I was happy to have a great conversation with you guys. And JG says, I'm just messing with you, buddy. What's up with Valens? What's up with Valens? Well, I mean, all the companies in the space are still, they're at risk of being shut down. So there's negative pressure on all the companies, but there's positive pressure as well with the fact that they're having more beverages, and their business is growing, right? They used to only do about 2 million revenue a quarter. They did okay, so the last like 3 or 4 quarters, they did 2 million a quarter, and then they did 8 million, and they were almost profitable on an EBITDA basis, and off of 8 million. And then the next time they did 16 million, and they were profitable like 7 or 10 million EBITDA. And then this time they did 30 million, and then they did 17 million in EBITDA. So that then you got things such as their beverages are out, so those sales will boost. But I don't think that many people are buying tons of beverages, just because it's just came out, and there's not a lot of product out yet. But I mean, this is just a new kind of you know a scoof on the market in the cannabis industry, so these products can move up a lot. All right. Did J Nug move to the upside? JG says, did it move to the upside? Well, it closed at about 330 or something like that, and then after hours like 350. I did buy some, and I'm at a loss. I can see gold going to potentially 1600 in the near term, but I could be wrong, and I might want to get out on Monday so I don't lose more money, because these ETFs can really lose money really quick. They're also 2 times ETF now. It was like a 3 times, so I don't recommend buying JNUG or whatever. Like, it's very risky, especially if you're holding it overnight or like over a few nights. But you can make a lot of money on JNUG as well. I've never played it before, but I've looked at the chart, and I just kind of playing it with the whole gold thing. But the thing with the junior ETFs is some of these junior companies probably have no cash, or very little, and then they're probably told to shut down. So even if the price of gold is very good, maybe they're just told to shut down a lot of their facilities. So Yeah, there's negative stuff on JNUG, I guess. Uh, yeah, the metal market's hard to find a good stock. I mean, PAS, Pan American, was really good. And then Kirkland Lake. I like Kirkland Lake. They're buying back more shares. That's KL. So in the gold market, I think KL is a very good one. And Newmont NEM. So that's what I think. James Rossman says, how do you think the markets will react to the lockdown, man? I don't think the market will react very good to the lockdown, man. I don't think so at all. I'm sure we're gonna hear a lot of negative news come Sunday night. I mean, I'm hopeful that when I report live on Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard or 9:30 ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it may be at 9 or 6 as well, sometime around there for an hour to 2 hours. But yeah, I think hopefully we get some news and I can share that with you guys tomorrow. But I don't think it's going to be positive for sectors, but they are going to deploy a lot of capital into the markets to try to make sure it doesn't fall down too much. But there's a lot of negative pressure and a lot of people want to get out of stocks. JG says, I thought I heard some news about them. JNUG's it's like an ETF, right? So it's a ETF for junior gold miners. So, but it's leveraged 2 times. So it moves up and down a lot, but it was also like it went way overbought and now it's like oversold. So I think that JNUG has potential to go to double, triple, or 4 times if gold goes another $100 to $200 back up. But I can't guarantee that. But if gold does go up another $100, $200 in the next like 2-3 weeks, I think it should go up. But I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe it just stays the same or goes lower. Yeah, I mean, ETFs are just a different story than just a regular stock. James Rossman says Cali in New York. Pretty sure we're gonna see another minus 14%. Yeah, what was the minus 14%? I haven't really keep track of how much stocks have lost every day. I just know that they're been going down a lot. I think the SPY was 340, and I don't know what it's at right now, like 230 or something, maybe lower. I can't remember. Maybe it's like 215, or maybe it's higher. I think people think it's going to go down to 213. Let me check what it is. 228. Yeah, I think some people think that it's going to go down to 210. JG says, yeah, hard to say. James, I'd say you're right there. JG says, you never know. Trump could be working on the coronavirus cure right now. I can see him in the lab, the way they're cooking it up, not a pipe. They care. Yeah, who knows, man? It's the cure for the market. They just want to, I don't know, man. It's like they're gonna give people $1,000, and that's just to incentivize people to buy stocks. I think put more money in the economy. Put more money in the economy, right? There's no real like it's no organic money, right? It's not organic money that people are getting from working. It's just okay. Just keep the money going, so we can pretend when we do the sales numbers for the GDP that it's up, or like I don't know. James Rossman's had definitely will take a while. Yeah, I think there's I don't know, man. I think that the panic is killing people. It's not, people are so brain dead, and this is just my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying the virus isn't dangerous, but I'm just saying though, if you were told that you had this disease, this virus on you, and everybody in the media is telling you it's so dangerous, you're gonna die, and there's no cure, like people have no intelligence to be like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll live. Their brain just like starts to go into panic, and then you freak out, and then your whole nervous system goes down, and then they're in the hospital, and they're getting freaked out more by the nurses, and there's all these other people around them, and people are dying maybe because they're all freaking out as well. It's just a purge, in my opinion, to kill people that like they don't want to pay people pensions, right? They don't want to take care of the healthcare, you know. I don't know. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. JG says I'm buying weed. Yeah, man, come to Canada. Come to Canada and get $100 ounces from Village Farms, man. Stay stoned for a month straight. I don't know. An ounce of weed would last me a while. It's a blend, right? So it'd be White Rhino, Afghani Kush, and what other ones? Purple Sun God. So you get a mix of all their stuff. I think it's probably pretty good. If I needed an ounce, I would consider it. It's not going to be in the stores where I'm at, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know, man. If they tell people in the media and the media is start sending a message that there's a cure, then yeah, that could definitely change the downside. On Twitter, people think that 5 weeks till the bottom. 5 weeks. I said 2 weeks, or I said 5 weeks, or 8 weeks, or now. And there were some people that said now. There were some people that said 2 weeks. Some people that said 5 weeks, and some people that said 8 weeks. But the majority of people said 5 weeks. 5 weeks till the bottom on the SPY, and that's a possibility. 5 weeks is a possibility because things are going to go up, then they're going to go down, then they're going to go up, then they're going to go down, and then all of a sudden people are going to say, well, we priced in a lot of it. It's all pricing in the markets, how it gets baked in, right? The institutions sell, people buy, and then it's just kind of an orderly thing that happens in the markets, how people buy and sell, and they decide if they want to hold the stock. So JG says, I think it will slow down a lot with people staying in a month. Absolutely. The businesses, as I alluded to before, small businesses are getting crushed. So yeah, it's going to be tough for businesses. No doubt about it. So it'll be tough, man. But as far as the stock market is a different thing than just the small businesses. And if when Trump decides to give all these companies these bailouts, so that what they're going to do, a lot of people are mad about this too, right? They're going to bail out all these companies, but these companies could have just sold, instead of buying back their shares. They could have hold their shares, like not buy the shares, and keep that money, and then they wouldn't need to get bailed out by the government. So that's going on. So, but they're going to get bailed out, right? They're going to get bailed out by the government. The government's going to give them money. And then what they're going to do again, probably the same. They're going to buy back their shares, right? So people call that crony capitalism, and I can't see that really stopping. I think that's what's going to be happened. James Rossman says, "Oh yeah." Says, anyways, man, I need to get going. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Yeah, no, thanks for hanging out. Shaka, peace. You guys take care, James. JG says Boeing will be saved on Sunday night. Yeah, man. I if Boeing gets saved, man, I think Boeing's a stock you want to have. But at the same time, if it goes up 30%, I don't know if we'd want to buy it right then. I think it'll have like a big pump, but then the market will be like pissed about it, and then it'll go down further than it is today. But then maybe in like 2 months or whatever, then it'll be up to like $150 or $200 potentially. So we'll see. But yeah, Boeing's definitely important. I mean, that's what I kind of talk about. I mean, USA wants to have a strong military, so when nobody's got jobs, they're gonna try to entice people to get into the military, right? So more people will be in the military, and they'll be enticed to be more likely to go to the military, and anybody else who's working is going to be working for literally the government. I mean, when Boeing and all these other companies, they're going to be more owned by the government. Does Boeing have a good dividend? I can look at it. I don't think they do have a good dividend. I think it's maybe like 1%, but so far I'm looking at TMX money, and it's at $95, right? So they've been as high as $398. Oh, it's not a bad dividend, actually. No, it's pretty decent. I like the dividend, actually. It's so they have a quarterly dividend, and it's $2.55, and they have a yield of 8.652. Wow, they got a deadly dividend, man. So yeah, I think Boeing, if you want to own Boeing long term and you don't think it's going to go bankrupt, that's a pretty damn good dividend. But there's definitely concerns of them going bankrupt. But if they somehow get bailed out and they get all this money, then 8% right now is pretty damn good. That's about $8, right? So even if it goes to $150 or something like that, like that's still about a 6% dividend yield. So that's pretty decent for sure. JG says, I bought 10,000 shares. Yeah, right. I don't think you bought 10,000 shares, man. If you bought 10,000 shares, you'd own a nice island. 10,000 shares is $1 million, man. That's a lot of money. Can't see you spending $1 million on Boeing. You could I think you could afford to have 10,000 shares in options, though, because every contract is 100. So you maybe bought 10, that would be 1,000, and you bought 100 contracts for, I don't know, $2 or something like that. So I don't know, spent $20,000 on contracts maybe, but you're gonna get the contracts are so expensive. All the options, the premiums are very expensive right now. So if you're doing a put, you want to make sure you do it when it goes up a lot, and then when it goes down, then you start selling it. Or if you're buying a call, you want to make sure you buy it when it goes way down, and then you buy it, and then it goes up. Just buying it based on buying it, you're gonna get crushed in options. So anyways, I'm gonna get going if you guys don't really have any more questions to talk about. And okay, you got another question, JG, my favorite fan, is also a moderator with James Rossman. Okay, I'll answer that, and then we'll have a great night. And I also got another video I did yesterday. I'll show you a little clip of it, but and I'll answer this question too. But I'll do the little clip of the video.
Gonna get out, get some groceries. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, don't be shy. Subscribe. Talk a lot about what's going on in this boomed up. I'm talking about, labs, even Aurora had a good day. Hexo, Tilray was up when I checked them last. There's some other ones that had pretty good days. So we'll see. They're gonna come across. They're gonna test the middle section of the Bollingers. They're at the bear side.
Yeah, so I'll probably upload that video that I did yesterday. It's kind of a review. That was before I did my live stream yesterday. And I'll answer your question. When will Emerald die? Yeah, that's a good question. I think they got more money. So I think they raised money recently, so they could maybe stay along a little bit longer. but I don't know the answer, man. I think it's they could potentially stay around, but I think that Village Farms has a definite focus to want to have 80 to 90 or 100% ownership of Pure Sun Farms. I think that's very big focus for them, especially how they raised cash just recently. So I think any chance they have where they can get like 10, 20% more ownership of the Pure Sun Farms relationship, then they're going to do that, I think. But how long that's going to take, I don't know. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, or maybe they're not able to get more ownership. Maybe they're only so I don't know. Maybe Emerald gets acquired by like Afria or Canopy or Chronos, and there's like some weird type of deal where you know still Emerald has like 42% ownership then. So there's different things, but long term, I'm not bullish on good things happening for Emerald. I wouldn't touch it, but I'm as far as my understanding on when they're gonna die, I think they have some time just because I think they raise cash, but I could be wrong. And if their liquidity, they could definitely be going bankrupt any day. If I could be wrong. I mean, I should look into if they raised cash recently. I thought they did, but yeah, if they don't have cash, they probably gonna try to go into creditors protection and try to stay around. But yeah, they'll just be getting slowly annulled. It'll just it's just the inevitable is going to happen. I think they will be go bankrupt or get acquired, and maybe there's some way that whole Pure Sound Farms, but I don't have control over the future, and I don't know what's going to happen for sure. But that's my opinion. JG says I'd like to buy all the shares and burn them, and then they would be gone. Yeah, no, I like where your head's at. Yeah, no, I think Emerald has been kind of a piece of trash in the industry. They've done some shady things, and I mean, I think they've helped out Pure Sun Farms in a sense. I mean, Village Farms, Village Farms has become fairly powerful based on just having their knowledge. I mean, their master grower or whatever coming over and teaching them about cannabis. So things like that I think is good. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like Emerald. I hope they get destroyed. I think there's a lot of other companies I'd also like to see get destroyed. I mean, Gene from Invictus, Sundial, maybe. I think Sundial will hold on. Maybe they'll get acquired and merge with like Organigram or somewhere else. Because there's some people, I don't know how fast this is going to happen in the industry where there's only maybe 5 or 10 companies. Because LPs, I think there's about 15 to 20 LPs that are public that have cannabis for sale in the LP, like at the online stores or at stores. And I'm thinking probably in the next 6 to 10 months. I mean, I know there's some more companies that are coming and they're mainly private, but I think the companies will merge with each other. I mean, I think with Tilray having 80 million of loan recently, I think that puts them in a pretty good cash position, especially how $80 million goes pretty far. I mean, I know they got a big loan on that, but Tilray could acquire companies, some other could acquire companies, Afria could acquire companies, Kronos could acquire companies, Canopy could acquire companies. I mean, who knows? I mean, there could be a big S&P 500 company that acquires a company. I'm thinking some of the S&P 500 companies in the next 12 to 24 months have a high likelihood of acquiring one of the big extraction companies. And who are the big extraction companies? I think of Metafarm Labs, and I think of Valens, and I also consider a big extractor is Neptune. I don't think their business, the way they run their business or their quarterly financials are that great, but they have a consumer packaging guy from it's like Unilever, and they're like a big consumer packaged goods company, and they also have partner with IFF. It's flavors and fragrances. So they work on all these flavors and fragrances for CPG products, so they have a deal with them. So Halo, I don't really consider them in the same type of sphere. I think Halo doesn't have the same type of technology. I mean, I've been to looked on their facilities on like Rich's show, or just the way he talks about things. It's their facilities they're not like EU GMP. I don't think they have ability to be EU GMP. When's that going to be in USA where EU GMP happens? Who knows? But for a rec brand, I think they're going to do okay potentially, but they're probably going to get acquired for pennies on the dollar. I just don't really think Halo has the game plan to be a big player in the space. I mean, I think they can be somewhat have their niche and have some part of the industry, but as far as them being a big player, I don't really see it. I just don't think that Kieran's going to be able to secure like big amounts of money, and I just don't think their facilities are to be a top extraction company. When I talk about top extraction companies, I'm talking about the ability to be a big CPG, like consumer packaged goods, for have deals with big pharma, or just big like beverages. I mean, like Valens is making beverages for themselves, and they're going to do it for other companies, and they could very well ink a deal with Pepsi or Coca-Cola, or like Gatorade or Red Bull or whoever, right? I like the CEO dilution blah. Yeah, no, I like the CEO. I own warrant in Halo. I put a few $100s, but those would probably, I don't know, maybe they'll be worth a bit of money. But as far as believing that they're going to be big in the future, I don't know. I see a very big bear side on Halo, just on the way they run their business, and just seeing their facilities. I just don't think they're etched out to really continue to be a big player. I mean, they'll be a small player, but I just don't think they're going to be huge. Valens is the best in my opinion. Yeah, I think Valens is the best. I think they have good management. Their only con is the fact they deal with LPs who don't have a lot of liquidity, and they don't want to give money to Valens that quick, whereas Valens should get that money quick, so that it builds their cash reserves, and then it makes them a stronger player. So yeah, exactly. The 5 different extraction methods are key. I mean, the sources, technologies, if a big CPG company, Pepsi, yeah, Coca-Cola, all these others want to make a deal with an extraction company, I think they're probably going to think highly of Valens, and then they're going to think Metafarm Labs, or they'll think about deals with Neptune, with the CPG. But Neptune hasn't really, prospered in Canada. They're not doing big. I hear your dogs. I love dogs. Yeah, my dogs. They're not my dogs, but they're funny dogs. They just howl. They'll howl for like 20 minutes straight, and one will howl, and then the other will howl, and well, sometimes they like be a little bit friendly, but they're usually just like ignore you. They're like, they're, but yeah. No, if you guys got any more questions, I can stay for a few more minutes, but I'm gonna get going. I wasn't gonna make this that long, but I don't have a problem staying for a little bit longer. Just talking about how I believe that in USA they're making companies more nationalized, so they're gonna own a big via a loan, and that'll give them more equity into the company, I believe. And then there's going to be less small businesses. So there'll be less small businesses, and So then people will be unemployed. There'll be a higher unemployment. So people have one choice to work for the government companies or to be into the military. And the military is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger because they're going to use that against the people. They're going to say, yeah, join the army. We'll give you this. We'll take care of your family. And then they'll join the army. And then less countries will want to mess with USA. So that'll just make them stronger. And then they'll try to have more businesses working in USA. But all these government jobs will be less and less money because people think about a government job, and a government job's a high paying job usually. But in the future, these government jobs are going to be smaller pay. And yeah, so take care, bud. JG says, I will join. And too bad I'm 75 years old. Yeah, no, I don't think you're 75 years old. But no, man, if you guys got a few more questions, I can answer. But I think I'm going to get going. So I'll give you guys a few minutes if you guys want to think of some questions, or I'm going to get going. You'll work for weed? Well, that's good. Yeah, imagine the government owning the whole cannabis industry in USA. No True Leaf, no Cure Leaf, no IIPR, nothing. Just owned completely by the government. You know, I think the government would want to own IIPR though. So they want to own all the leases, and then they can issue more debt, so then they can buy more properties, more properties, more properties, and the government just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and people get weaker and weaker. So Canada is going to try to play that game as well, but they don't have the same type of power to enforce it that the USA does. So that's what I think is going to happen. But are the shelves still empty there? Just depends which stores you go to. If you go to Superstore, which is the best prices for food other than Costco, but I don't have a Costco membership, or I don't go to Walmart. I mean, I'll go to Walmart, but I don't prefer to go to Walmart. It's further away, and it's probably a lot of shelves are empty. I think a lot of the big rice bags or lentils and stuff like that, they're getting chewed through because people are getting ready for a depression, because I think that's what's going to happen, a big depression. So that's it's not going to happen overnight, but more and more people are going to have less and less money. So people got to get their protein right. So they can get protein by making eggs, and you can do eggs with soup. Like you can have kimchi and heat it up, put eggs in there, or you can fry eggs and make a fried egg sandwich. You can do lots of things. You can put it on rice, you can put it on a salad. So I mean, people get their protein and it's not expensive. So right now we're in deflation, but eventually I think there's going to be more inflation when there's more stimulus going into the economy. We haven't seen it, the big stimulus. So then when you're thinking about getting, say, like eggs for $4 here, then before you know it, when they really pump up the stimulus, then we could see eggs for like 8 or 10 or $20, right? So JG says, I bought enough for a few weeks, so in a week or so, people will be overstocked and I'll go shopping again. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, man. You kind of got to pick the times when people aren't going to be at the stores. So it's good you got a strategy. I don't know if it's going to necessarily work, because maybe people will buy more eggs. I mean, I think more people are going to realize that they're going to be stuck in their home for a longer time. Like, people haven't really understood what's going on in the government and how they're getting told that they have to stay home. So when people start to understand what's going on, they may stack even more stuff. So maybe they have like a month's supply, then they're going to want 3 months supply or 6 months supply, right? I know in some wars in Asia, a lot of people ate lots of spam, right? So, you know, I love eggs. JG says chickens would be good to own, right? Yeah, I have a cousin that has a chicken farm, and he's doing lots of that. So I might grow chickens this year, so I have eggs. Yeah, I mean, you could just get the baby eggs, baby chickens, and then start doing all that stuff and run a farm. I think that's a good idea. I think if you can make your own food right now, it's a good idea. Not to mention, you don't have to run into the stores with all the crazy people. And yeah, I mean, when I went to the superstore, there was no ATMs didn't work at the store. I had to have cash, and luckily I did have cash. So I mean, things are really weird right now. It's like they're testing us people, see how we're gonna handle the situation. And but yeah, I know I'd recommend doing the eggs and all that stuff. I like to be able to grow vegetables, tomatoes, cucumbers, salad, lettuce, mushrooms. I don't know if you can make mushroom. Well, you can make mushrooms in greenhouses. I don't know how easy it is outdoor. And you know, there's just all types of vegetables that are really good that you can grow outside. So, or you know, if you can do fruits, if you could grow apples. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a bad idea, and can save a lot of money when you make your own food. So I like the idea of being able to grow a lot of tomatoes or something like that. I think that would be awesome. JG says some places want cash and others didn't. It was weird. Some wanted Bitcoin. I didn't have any. Yeah, no, it's turmoil. Things are really messed up. They're implementing a new system, man. So they're trying to roll this out, but it's utter chaos, and they're keeping us in our homes, and they're telling us to be afraid of this virus, and then they're throwing all this money to Boeing. And I have my own opinions, but a lot of people are asleep and don't understand, and I think that, you know, when you panic people and you tell them there's no cure for something, and then people, you know, they also doing oppression by telling people to stay inside. You can't go to this store. You can't go to this bar. So people are having to adapt, and people who are older, who are stubborn, they don't want to adapt, right? So they're going into utter panic, and that really makes them in a weak spot where their nervous system can break down. And then who knows what they give the people at the doctor's office or when they're in the hospital, right? Like, for all we know, they're giving these people drugs that pretty much kills the person like within 2 hours. I mean, I don't know, man. I have my own conspiracy theories. JG says one place I had to give blood. I was like, what? You had to give blood? What the hell? Yeah. Weed's good, man. I think I'm gonna have some weed in a bit. I'm gonna go to the grocery store. If you know, if they're all of a sudden in the next 5 to 6 hours there becomes that there's like Trump strikes Iran or something like that, and to pump up oil, then I'll probably go live or make a video. But I think I'm gonna get going, and I'm gonna try to upload this video that I did yesterday, talk about the stocks. So thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and keep compound your info and listen to my lingo and shaka ka. Peace. I'm getting out. No, I wish I could play the music. Somehow it doesn't want to work on my thing. When I stopped at Walmart, they wanted old shoes. I didn't understand. Yeah, I think they're going to want those old shoes because all these people that have no money, they're going to put them in these concentration camps slash FEMA camps and keep them there with their family because they have no food, they have no cash, and then they're going to force vaccines on them. And yeah, so that's just my opinion. Yeah, take care, JG. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna get out. Peace out. You guys can add me on Compound Stock 13 on Twitter. And until next time, shaka. Peace. I'm out.